Hi there, my name is Em Williams, and I will be presenting on my honors capstone project, Goodnight, Simon. So I wish to ask everybody, what if mythology was realistic? We have heard about Greek mythology, we have heard about Norse mythology, we have heard of a lot of different ways, but I wanted to play with the idea, what if we made it realistic? And I mean, like, what if we combine this symbolism and family drama of mythology that we often find, and once again, like Greek mythology, let's say Zeus, Dionysus, Athena, plus our modern day history and science. So, like astrobiology or chemistry or the history of the planet Earth, which I will be talking about soon after. So you may be asking, what is Goodnight, Simon? Goodnight, Simon is a full-length novel over 208 pages, around 13 chapter, over 50,000 words. It's meant for middle grade readers and their parents. It's about Simon, a young immortal trying to follow in the footsteps of his mother's Asha. Both of them going to be creating life on other planets, and we'll be focusing more on Simon and him creating life on planet Earth. So this book will touch upon families, family connection, astrobiology, evolution, creative differences in relationships, and then also the history of planet Earth as Simon creates life on it. So we'll get to see a lot of fun stuff with that. So the goal of this project is to create a full-length novel over 200 pages to touch upon evolutions and the history of the planet Earth, and to mix family drama with a slice of life science fiction story. And of course, the results of the entire project. To go into the first part of around mythology, which is symbolism, I wish to show you some characters that I designed that will be appearing throughout the whole entire story, as well as to get you to situated with them. So of course, we have Charles. If you can guess by his design, he's a stand-in for death. Lucas, more material in space. She's also the matriarch. And I took a lot of inspiration from Zeus and First Testament God. We have Simon, the main character and titular character of the title, Goodnight, Simon. And then we have his mom, Asha, who took a lot of inspiration from kind of Mother Earth type characters. And next, we'll be going into the creation myths and the beginning of the planet Earth. And of course, the history of the universe and everything in it. And I'm trying to humanize the creation of life. And so we see Simon looking at the blank canvas of very early Earth where carbon dioxide meanly filled the entire atmosphere, giving it a really red and orange cozy color. But think about what he wants to do with it. What would he want here? What would he want this world to look like? There was the supposed idea of almost creating an homage to his mother's work, or even just back home for him to create what he knows. Home. Eh? Asha asked. I would like to create blue skies and soft grass, to have trees like the weird ones that popped up recently. I want to create comfort for me and you. A paradise. She raised her eyebrows, the small dots that made up her irises burned gently. That we can do. And then we'll be going into different events that happen throughout planet Earth. We go into abiogenesis, which I'll be going into soon. The Cambrian explosion, the beginning of land-dwelling invertebrates. Like this illustration here, Tiktaalik. We have the KT impact, which a lot of people know as the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. And the beginnings of humans and the Anthropocene, I had to include because, of course, I'm pretty sure we're all humans here. So we go into abiogenesis, where Asha, kind of playing as Simon's mentor in this whole entire thing, gives him a rundown on the different possibilities for how to start life. So which one do you want to do? Sea vents, tide pools, or seasonal lakes? Are you more of a giant ocean kind of person? Asha asked. What's the difference? Simon said, looking out at the chaos that took place on the living room floor. Well, it depends on how you want to collect all the nutrients. How extreme are your seasons? How hardy do you want your stir to be? Do you need anything that some environments have more readily available? Just that sort of stuff. And then, of course, we also go into Ash's own world, which goes more into astrobiological side of the story. creating life on other planets, what that might look like, and thus also alien life. For example, the sound of water rushing down streams, fauna and fauna making alien croaks and chirpings caused a chorus that was strange in a stranger's ears. There would be other life forms other than ripples. There would be great amounts of plants taking and recycling nutrients from the soil. They didn't need to be manicured or inspected or on a regular schedule that was built for such a place. And that is brilliant. Off into the distance, he could see his mother dancing, her blue overalls and green curls vibrant against the purples and pinks that made up the environment. And then we also see how I took some inspiration from our own solar system. For example, Europa and Enceladus, if anybody has looked at the moons of the gas giants. Asha wrung her hands together as they stood on thick slabs of ice. Sprays of water were ejected into the thin exosphere. Like a second sun, a gas giant stood watch, its faint halo tidally locked in, causing a continual barrage upon her moon's ancient sliding surface. Tiger stripes were pressed upon the icy chasms, orange bacteria devouring leftover chemical energy. And let's get back to the mythology side of things, also known as the drama side of things. And we'll look into some stuff that also goes into the creation of this novel. So, as you may have noticed, there are only 4 characters in this novel, which can lead to a significant amount of loneliness, a lot of boredom, and a lot of focus on family connections. So, as seen here in this chart, the 4 people in his population has increased loneliness, which can be increased dependence on certain people and infighting over those people. Then sooner or later try to come up with a solution or to find more people or better environments, which in the end leads Simon to also creating humans as possibly a stand-in for a lot of the relationships that he desired throughout the novel. So this excerpt is when Simon is waiting for Asha to return back from creating life on her planets. And it kind of just shows the boredom and loneliness that he goes through. The water carried him further into the shallows, allowing him to spread out his limbs and catch the sea's breeze. Would his mother come to find him if he wasn't home when she came back? Would anyone worry if he just disappeared from the edge of the surreal world? Simon could imagine himself as a soar purple point of view against a wonderful blue surface with white waves. Maybe millions of days until Asha returned from her own projects. He could just dissolve into the solution, never remembering this life again. Closing his eyes, he let the water cart him further away from home. And then here we see a catharsis between mother and son, and Asha coming to kind of comfort Simon after that point. She said nothing, bringing him into a full force despite his best efforts to escape. Please, he begged. Please, I'm too much. I can't figure out anything without you. Shush. You're very smart and can get anywhere without me. He kept his mouth shut, thinking, I don't want it to be without you. Instead, he said, no, I'm not. I'm overwhelmed by the smallest change from the regular. She rocked him back and forth, rubbing his back. And that's why you work in the gradual. And yes, you're the smartest person I've ever met. I know both Lucas and Charles are pretty smart in their own fields. He wiped his eyes, trying for a half laugh. That's not true. It's true for me. Trust me. Lucas can be very stupid at times, Asha assured him, her eyes showing the most gentle color of red to ever exist. Like a warm blanket and drink, urging you to take your time and to only go when you feel completely ready. Really? Really. And then we also show that kind of dependence once again that you often find between parents and their children, the desire to please and see it'll like what you're making. And of course, as I said before, all the way in like the very beginning of this presentation, Simon wants to learn how to create life on planets in order to be closer to his mother. So of course, he very, very much cares about her opinion. Then what's your favorite thing? He asked, looking up at her. What do you think of these giants? I made them for the express purpose of outrunning any problem that might come their way. And they're omnivorous and very adaptable. Everything was so great here. All of his hard work had paid off in these hardy creatures. Surely she would be proud of him, right? They're very nice, bud, but are you proud of me? She stopped, turning towards him. Was there something wrong? Did he do something that you didn't like? I love everything you create, including these great ones. I wish I could create creatures just like this on my own projects. Simon blinked. He got up, dusting himself off, and asked, "Is something wrong?" And that is what I wanted to show for Goodnight, Simon. It is a fun story about children wanting to impress their parents, wanting to make an impact on their own lives, and also looking at the history of planet Earth and what that might look like in more human terms. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Any questions?